At first glance, your horse might look perfectly healthy, shiny coat, alert ears, good appetite. But what if behind that strong appearance, your daily routines are quietly wearing them down? Many horses age faster, not because of genetics or bad luck, but because of unnoticed habits that build up over time. These small, repeated actions, things we do out of convenience, routine, or misinformation, can silently damage a horse's joints, teeth, hooves, digestion, and even mental health. Unlike sudden injuries, the effects of bad habits don't show up overnight. That's what makes them so dangerous. A horse might still be working, eating, and responding normally, all while slowly accumulating stress and damage. It could be skipping dental checkups, feeding too many sugary treats, not allowing enough rest days, or using poorly fitted tack. Each one seems minor on its own, but together, they can lead to early stiffness, behavioral issues, weakened immunity, or digestive complications that reduce your horse's quality of life and shorten their lifespan. This video is not just a warning, it's a guide. We're going to cover 10 specific habits that are commonly found even in well-meaning barns, and explain how they accelerate aging in horses. Whether you're new to horse care or have years of experience, these insights will help you reflect on your current routines and make small adjustments that can extend your horse's active years and overall well-being. Because a longer, healthier life for your horse isn't just about better vet care or supplements. It starts with daily awareness and informed choices. Let's take a closer look at the first habit and why neglecting your horse's teeth might be doing more damage than you think. Skipping dental care. Aging starts in the mouth. Most horse owners don't realize that a horse's mouth is one of the first places aging begins. Unlike human teeth, horse teeth grow continuously throughout their life. That sounds helpful at first, until you understand the consequences of not managing it. When dental care is skipped, uneven wear starts to create sharp edges, hooks, and waves in the mouth. These sharp points can cut into the cheeks or tongue, causing pain with every bite or rein cue. The result? A horse that suddenly loses weight, becomes fussy with the bit, starts dropping feed, or refuses to work. Many of these issues are misdiagnosed as training problems or personality changes, when in reality, it's chronic discomfort in the mouth. Over time, poor dental health doesn't just cause localized pain, it affects digestion, since improperly chewed food can lead to choke, impaction colic, or nutrient deficiency. That constant low-grade stress wears the horse down, mentally and physically, leading to fatigue, irritability, and even shortened working years. Dental issues are especially common in older horses, but young horses are not immune. In fact, young horses need careful monitoring during tooth eruption stages to prevent long-term imbalances. Floating, filing down the rough edges, should be done at least once a year or more frequently for senior or performance horses. Another overlooked aspect is how dental pain affects trust. If every ride means pain in the mouth, your horse starts to associate the bridle, the rider, and the bit with discomfort. That affects their willingness to work, their emotional well-being, and your bond as a team. Investing in regular dental checks isn't just about preventing problems. It's about preserving your horse's comfort, energy, and quality of life. One small habit, repeated consistently, can either protect your horse or slowly age them from within. 2. Overworking without enough rest, burning out the body. One of the most damaging habits horse owners develop, often without realizing it, is pushing their horse too hard without proper rest. Horses are naturally athletic animals, but that doesn't mean they're built for constant high-intensity work. Just like human athletes, horses need time to recover both physically and mentally. Ignoring that recovery time is a fast track to early aging. The signs can be subtle at first. A horse that used to enjoy training may seem dull, reluctant to move forward, or stiff during warm-ups. You might notice minor swelling in joints, increased irritability, or slower recovery after exercise. These are not just mood swings or laziness, they are signs of accumulated stress and strain. And when rest is skipped day after day, the wear on muscles, tendons, and joints accelerates. This habit is especially common in performance horses, or horses used for lessons. The pressure to keep them in shape, maintain training progress, or fulfill riding schedules can overshadow their real needs. But without proper rest, the horse's body doesn't have time to repair micro-injuries. Over time, these small damages become chronic problems, arthritis, tendon injuries, back soreness, that are far harder to treat and often permanent. Mental fatigue is just as serious. Horses thrive on routine, but they also need variety and downtime. Constant drilling or intense riding without breaks can lead to burnout, anxiety, or sour behavior. That mental stress contributes to a shorter, less enjoyable working life. A good rule of thumb? For every few days of training, allow at least one full day of rest or light activity. Tailor your horse's schedule based on age, fitness level, and workload. Rest isn't wasted time, it's essential maintenance. Ignoring it doesn't just reduce performance, it speeds up aging from the inside out. 3. Poorly fitted tack, causing daily discomfort and long-term damage. It's easy to focus on training, feeding, and exercise, but many horse owners overlook one of the most basic daily sources of damage: improperly fitted tack. A saddle that's slightly too narrow, a bit that pinches, or a girth that rubs can seem like minor inconveniences, but over time, they can lead to significant physical and behavioral problems that age your horse faster than expected. Ill-fitting tack puts pressure on sensitive areas like the withers, spine, shoulders, or mouth. At first, your horse may show small signs: pinned ears when saddling, tail swishing, hesitation when asked to move forward, or resistance to collection. These are often mistaken for attitude issues, but they're usually the horse's way of saying, "Something hurts." Long-term use of the wrong saddle can lead to muscle atrophy, uneven development, sore backs, and even permanent damage to the spine or nerves. Similarly, a poorly fitted bit can cause bruising, cuts, or chronic tension in the jaw and pole. All of this creates not just physical stress, but mental strain as well. A horse that expects pain from the moment the tack goes on will be tense before the ride even begins. This daily tension wears a horse down. They become less willing, more anxious, and eventually less sound. Their working life shortens not because of age, but because their body is silently breaking down under equipment that doesn't fit. The solution? Regular tack evaluations. Have a professional saddle fitter assess the fit at least once a year, especially if your horse is growing, aging, or changing muscle condition. Check for rubs, pressure points, and behavioral changes that might signal discomfort. Tack isn't just a tool, it's a bridge between you and your horse. If that bridge hurts them, aging comes much faster than it should. 4. Inconsistent hoof care. Weak foundation, faster decline. The old saying, "no hoof, no horse," isn't just a cliche. It's a cold, hard truth. The condition of your horse's hooves directly affects every step they take, every stride they make, and every year they live comfortably. Yet inconsistent hoof care remains one of the most common and damaging habits among horse owners. Skipping trims, delaying farrier visits, or ignoring early signs of imbalance might not seem serious at first, but they lead to structural issues that fast-track the aging process. When a horse's hooves are not maintained regularly, imbalances begin to form. The angles of the hoof change, placing uneven stress on the joints, tendons, and ligaments. This strain causes joint fatigue, lameness, and over time, serious conditions like navicular syndrome or laminitis. Once these problems set in, they're often irreversible and extremely painful, requiring long-term management or even early retirement. Poor hoof care also impacts circulation. A healthy, well-trimmed hoof functions like a pump with every step, aiding blood flow. Overgrown or unbalanced hooves disrupt that natural rhythm, reducing efficiency and overall health. Even small issues like a minor crack or thrush can spiral into infections if left untreated. And when pain is involved, horses begin to move differently, compensating in ways that strain other parts of the body. This compensation accelerates wear on knees, hocks, and hips, leading to stiffness, behavioral changes, and chronic soreness. Consistency is key. Hooves should be trimmed or shod every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on your horse's activity, environment, and hoof growth rate. Regular checks for heat, odor, or uneven wear help you catch problems early. Clean hooves daily, and ensure your horse isn't standing in wet or muddy conditions for prolonged periods. Aging doesn't start with years. It often starts with neglecting the feet that carry them. 5. Feeding too much sugar and starch. Aging from the inside out. Many horse owners love to treat their horses with molasses-coated grains, sweet feeds, and sugary snacks that seem harmless, even affectionate. But diets high in sugar and starch can silently accelerate the aging process by damaging a horse's metabolism, increasing inflammation, and overloading their digestive system. Over time, this leads to chronic conditions that not only reduce your horse's performance, but also shorten their healthy lifespan. When a horse consumes excess sugar and starch, the digestive tract, especially the hindgut, struggles to process it. This can cause spikes in blood sugar, imbalanced gut flora, and increased acidity in the digestive system. One of the most common consequences is insulin resistance, a metabolic condition that makes horses prone to obesity, laminitis, and fatigue. And once a horse becomes metabolically compromised, it can take years off their active life. Inflammation is another hidden enemy. High-sugar diets promote systemic inflammation, which affects joints, hooves, muscles, and even brain function. Horses may begin to show subtle signs: sluggish energy, mood swings, or recurring hoof sensitivity. Over time, these add up to faster physical decline. Older horses are especially vulnerable. As they age, their ability to process sugars naturally declines, making them more sensitive to feed imbalances. But even young horses can be harmed if sugary feeds become the norm rather than the exception. The solution isn't to eliminate all carbohydrates. Horses need energy, but that energy should come from high-fiber sources like forage, beet pulp, or low-starch concentrates. Read feed labels carefully, limit sweet treats, and work with an equine nutritionist to balance your horse's diet based on their workload, age, and body condition. Feeding your horse with love doesn't mean giving them sugar. It means giving them what their body truly needs, because long-term health starts with what goes in the bucket every day. Sex. Ignoring subtle signs of discomfort. When small warnings become big problems. Horses are prey animals, hardwired to hide pain. In the wild, showing weakness can make them a target. That survival instinct hasn't disappeared just because they're living in a stable. As a result, many horses display only subtle signs when something's wrong, signs that often go unnoticed or are dismissed as mood or bad behavior. But ignoring these early warnings allows minor issues to develop into major aging-related problems. What does this look like in practice? Maybe your horse flinches slightly when you tighten the girth. Maybe they toss their head more often, seem stiff at the start of a ride, or are less enthusiastic during training. These aren't random quirks. They're early indicators that something, whether physical or emotional, is off. Pain from mild arthritis, early saddle pressure, dental discomfort, ulcers, or hoof soreness can all show up in quiet ways. Pinned ears, tail swishing, changes in gait, or reluctance to move forward. Over time, when these signs are ignored, the horse's body begins to compensate, putting strain on other joints, muscles, and systems. This compensation creates more imbalance, more pain, and a faster decline in soundness and performance. Additionally, chronic low-level discomfort increases cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol over time impacts the immune system, digestion, mood, and muscle recovery, all factors directly linked to aging. Being proactive doesn't require constant vet visits. It requires observation. Spend time watching how your horse moves, reacts to touch, eats, rests, and interacts. If something feels off, don't brush it off. A quick evaluation could catch an issue before it becomes chronic. Listening to your horse's whispers prevents them from ever needing to scream. In the long run, being attentive to these subtle signs is one of the most powerful ways to slow down aging and extend their healthy, happy years. 70. Lack of mental stimulation. Aging the mind before the body. When we think about keeping horses healthy and youthful, we usually focus on their bodies, joints, muscles, diet, hooves. But a horse's mind is just as important. Mental stagnation can quietly age your horse from the inside out, leading to dullness, frustration, and behavioral issues that mimic physical decline. Just like humans, horses need purpose, variety, and engagement to stay sharp and emotionally balanced. A horse that lives in a small paddock, does the same routine every day, and has no opportunity to explore or learn, becomes mentally fatigued. This doesn't always show up as dramatic misbehavior. More often it presents as lack of enthusiasm, laziness under saddle, tension during groundwork, or even subtle signs like chewing fences or pacing out of boredom. While these behaviors are often labeled as bad habits, they're actually symptoms of unmet mental needs. Horses are naturally curious and social animals. They benefit from variation in their environment and training. New obstacles, trails, groundwork exercises, liberty work, or even just changes in routine can make a huge difference. Mental stimulation helps build confidence, reduce stress, and improve the horse's overall willingness to work. Additionally, horses that are mentally engaged tend to recover from stress faster, maintain better focus, and have stronger bonds with their handlers. These positive mental states contribute to hormonal balance, better immune function, and improved digestion, factors often overlooked when considering aging. On the flip side, horses that feel ignored or stuck in monotony begin to shut down emotionally. This mental withdrawal can result in a quicker physical breakdown, As tension builds and interest in movement or cooperation fades. Caring for your horse's mind isn't optional. It's a key part of long-term wellness. A mentally stimulated horse is more vibrant, more connected, and far more resistant to the early effects of aging. 8. Keeping horses isolated. Social deprivation accelerates aging. Horses are herd animals by nature. In the wild, they rely on the safety, comfort, and communication of the group for survival. Their mental and emotional health is deeply rooted in social interaction. Yet many domesticated horses live in isolation, separated by stall walls, turned out alone or limited to brief controlled interactions. While this might seem safe or convenient for the owner, social deprivation takes a toll on a horse's well-being and can silently contribute to premature aging. Isolation leads to chronic stress. Horses that are unable to interact with others often show signs of anxiety, frustration, or depression. You might see pacing, weaving, cribbing, or aggressive behavior. Over time, these stress patterns affect more than just attitude. They impact the immune system, increase inflammation, disrupt digestion, and even lead to weight loss or ulcers. The constant release of stress hormones like cortisol weakens the body's natural defenses. Cortisol, when elevated over long periods, contributes to muscle wasting, delayed healing, and fatigue, all of which make a horse appear and feel older than they are. Social contact doesn't always mean large herds or open pasture. Even limited but meaningful interaction, over the fence, shared turnout with a buddy, or grooming partners, can make a major difference. Horses communicate through touch, scent, movement, and body language. Denying them that opportunity creates emotional imbalance that no supplement or training program can fully correct. Additionally, horses that grow up or live without regular socialization may struggle with trust, handling, and learning later in life. Their development is stunted, not just emotionally but neurologically. Providing safe, structured social time is not a luxury, it's part of responsible horsemanship. A socially fulfilled horse is calmer, healthier, and more emotionally resilient, and emotional resilience is a powerful shield against the aging process, inside and out. Deister, not adjusting care with age, treating a senior horse like a young one. As horses age, their bodies and needs change. But many owners fail to adjust care routines accordingly. Treating an older horse like a younger one, whether in feeding, training, or management, can accelerate aging rather than preserve health. Just because a senior horse still looks energetic or behaves well under saddle doesn't mean they should follow the same program as they did at 5 or 10 years old. Aging affects metabolism, joint flexibility, muscle tone, digestion, and dental health. Older horses often need higher quality forage, additional fiber, and supplements to maintain weight and condition. They may also require more frequent dental checkups, since their teeth wear down unevenly or fall out entirely. Continuing to feed the same grain mix or hay type without reevaluation can lead to nutritional deficiencies, colic, or weight loss. Exercise also needs to evolve. While movement remains essential to keeping joints lubricated and muscles active, high-impact or repetitive training can do more harm than good. Instead of focusing on intense sessions, prioritize low-impact activities like walking, pole work, or gentle hill climbs to keep the body active without overstressing aging joints. Blanketing, hoof care, and turnout schedules may also need revisiting. Older horses tend to be more sensitive to cold or sudden weather changes and may develop arthritis or hoof changes that require adjusted farrier care. Perhaps the most important shift is in mindset. Senior horses are not less than. They're wise, experienced, and deserving of a care plan that respects their stage of life. Adjusting their routines isn't about slowing them down unnecessarily. It's about supporting their body where it is today, not where it was 5 years ago. Proactive age-specific care preserves comfort, energy, and dignity, slowing down the aging process by working with the horse, not against it. 10. Skipping routine vet checkups, waiting for problems to appear. One of the most common yet damaging habits among horse owners is delaying or skipping regular veterinary checkups. Many people wait until a horse shows obvious signs of illness, lameness, or discomfort before calling the vet. But by the time symptoms appear, the condition may already be advanced, harder to treat and more taxing on the horse's body. Preventive care isn't just a safety measure. It's a key factor in slowing the aging process. Horses are experts at hiding pain and illness. They may continue eating, moving, and performing, even when something is wrong internally. Routine veterinary exams help catch subtle changes early, shifts in weight, irregular heart rhythms, respiratory issues, organ dysfunction, or early arthritis. Catching these issues before they become chronic allows for quicker, less invasive interventions and improves long-term outcomes. Vaccinations, dental exams, fecal egg counts, and blood work are all part of comprehensive preventive care. Skipping these can lead to parasite overload, infectious diseases, or untreated inflammation, all of which compromise the immune system and accelerate physical decline. And in older horses, annual blood work becomes even more important to monitor organ function and metabolic status. Aging gracefully doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of consistent, attentive care. Vet checkups also create a baseline for your horse's health. Over time, your vet can track trends, spot changes, and adjust care as your horse gets older. This reduces the chance of surprise emergencies, which are not only expensive, but incredibly hard on the horse's aging body. Building a proactive relationship with your vet is one of the most powerful tools you have to support your horse's longevity.